junior middle school baseball coach. And I so move.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval of the following volunteer coaches. John Richter, varsity baseball, and Rick Broadwater, varsity baseball. And I so move.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval for Richard Evans to attend the 57th Annual PA State Athletic Directors Association Conference in Hershey, PA from March 18th to the 25th, 2025 at a cost of $985, and I so move.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
That's all I have. Mr. Ramsey?
Nothing, ma'am.
Mr. Everett?
Nothing else, thank you.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Sangston. Moving to buildings and grounds, Mr. Kokenauer.
Thank you, Mr. Panzella. Facility utilization. Request approval of the following event and building usage requests. I like to spread 1 through 11, and I so move.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval of the agreement between Superior Lawn Care and Collinsville Area School District for the football field located in Dunmore Township at a cost of $1,409.50 for 3 applications in 2025, and I so move.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request the conditional approval contingent upon successful submission of screening and background checks of the following additions to the custodial substitute list for the 2024-2025 school year. Joshua McNair and Brad Mullen. I so move.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval of the following purchase of 12 cafeteria tables for Collinsville Area Middle School from Kirk Brothers in the amount of $23,712, and it's CoStars 035/E23/199, and I so move.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval of the proposal for exterior door hardware replacement at the Collinsville Area High School with K-12 dynamic doors in the amount of $39,765.82 to be paid from the PCCD grant. It's CoStars 008/E24/1421, and I so move.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval to hire Jay Firestone as a 4-hour custodian effective January 27th, 2025, and I so move.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval to hire Terry Nicholson as a 4-hour custodian effective January 27th of 2025, and I so move.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval of the property license agreement between the Collinsville Area School District and the Collinsville Youth Football for the use of the middle school practice field area for a period of 3 years according to the stipulation in said agreement pending solicitor review, and I so move.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
That's all I have, Mr. Panzella. Mrs. Langston,
Nothing. Thank you.
Mr. Kirschner-Biggum. That's all we have, Mr. Panzella. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kokenauer. Moving to the Carnegie Free Library, Mrs. Driscoll.
For this month, Mr. Martin,
Nothing, thank you.
Mr. Hirschman?
Nothing, thank you.
That's all I have.
Thank you, Mrs. Driscoll. Moving to the Collinsville Area Career and Technical Center, Mr. Kokenauer.
Thank you, Mr. Panzella. We have nothing at this time. Mrs. Langston.
Nothing. Thank you.
That's all we have, Mr. Panzella. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kokenauer. Moving to curriculum, Mr. Renzi.
Thank you, Mr. Panzella. Request approval of the following professional employee travel in accordance with the district travel policy. Deanna Brooks to attend the Patent Initiative Conference, Pittsburgh, PA, from February 24th to 26th, 2025, and Andrew Hedrick and Nicholas Gruber to attend the PASAP conference at Penn State Hotel and Conference Center in State College from February 23rd to February 25th at no cost to the district, and I so move.
Second.
Motion is second. All
I have a
those,
question.
question?
On number one, what is the cost to the district? Oh, that's fine. I'm sorry.
$623.12.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval of the secondary course selections for the 2025-2026 school year as proposed, and I so move.
Motion is second. All those in favor?
Question on that?
Question?
Do we have any changes for this year? Nothing.
For example,
Any?
Kansas has nothing.
State same, okay.
High school, we're gonna add credit to the last. Financial literacy, is being added for all 11th graders will have to take that, starting next year, and they'll have to have it before they graduate. Honors algebra, we're removing it from the high school handbook, but it's never really been offered anyway. And there's a couple of enrichment courses that Dylan, takes that we're also removing.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval of the agreement for the Dropout Recovery Program with Graduation Alliance as proposed, and I so move.
Second.
A motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Anything else, Dr. Coons?
I have nothing, thank you.
Nothing. That's all we have, Mr. Manzella. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Renzi. Moving to cyber, Mr. Martrek.
Thank you, Mr. Panzello. We have nothing this evening. Mrs. Driscoll, do you have anything additional?
No, I have nothing, thank
Mr.
you.
Harshman?
Nothing, thank you.
Mr. Ghost?
Nothing, thank you.
That's it.
Thank you, Mr. Martrek. Moving to federal programs, Mr. Harshman.
I have nothing, Mr. Renzi.
Nothing, sir.
Dr. Coons.
I have nothing, thank
We
you.
have nothing, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Harshman. Moving to finance, Mr. Renzi.
Thank you, Mr. Manzella. Request approval of the following donations to the Bible Club from Denny Field, $500 in memory of Hayden Field. Carol Kellerman, $100. Tom and Vicki Neiswanger, $100 plus $200 in food items. Teens of Christ, $150 in gift cards. Dennis and Jenny Kuzer, $20. Gary and Amy Miner, $70 in gift cards. Shane and Kylie Carlton, $50. Central Fellowship Church, $50. Denny Field, food in the amount of $175 in memory of Hayden Field. Collinsville Presbyterian Church, $250. Tom and Vicki Neiswanger, $200. Jason and Amy Riccio, food items for outreaches in the amount of $125. For the CACTC, Field Response Medical Services, a 2003 Ford E350 ambulance. For the Music Club, featuring Mamma Mia, Armstrong musical sponsorship in the amount of $2,500 and an additional Armstrong program in an advertisement, estimated value of $10,500. And for the prom committee, from Chris and Tara Miner, $260 for 350 glow sticks. And I so move.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval of the attached requisition orders and to authorize the district business office to process orders and payments, and I so move.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Anything else, Mr. Kokenair? And Mrs. Robinson? That's all we have, Mr. Panzella. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Renzi. Moving to food service, Mrs. Sangster.
Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez. Request a condition approval contingent upon successful submission of screening and background check to the cafeteria substitute list for the 24-25 school year. Sharon Nicholson, Michelle Lind, Adam Kessler, Mindy Schaefer, and I so move.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
So I have Mr. Martrek,
Nothing.
Mr. Keckman, Mr. Kirkno.
Yes, I would like to add just a reminder to the community that the Giant Food Company does have the sponsoring the roundup at the register. Again, this is at the Martin grocery store. This helps our students in the community, and it goes towards all programs like the backpack programs, food pantries again, and all this money does go back to the community. So again, a reminder that help this is a great program. Last year, they raised up over $5,000 for West Crawford's backpack program. So, yeah, it's like a reminder to you. Thank you.
That's awesome. Thank you. That's all we have, Mr. Gonzalez. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Sangster. Moving to personnel and review and liaison, Mr. Lindsay.
Thank you, Mr. Panzella. Request a conditional approval contingent upon successful submission of screening and background checks of the following additions to the professional substitute list for the 2024-2025 school year. Carla Loudon, retired. Elizabeth Kozel, PK to 4. Brianna Mead, emergency. Kelly Cunningham, emergency. Madison Hamborski, prospective educator. Morgan Kirk, emergency. Mary Margaret Renzi, emergency. And Yvonne Schmigel, PK to 4, and I so move.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Abstain.
One abstention.
Request a conditional approval contingent upon successful submission of screening and background checks of the following additions to the support personnel substitute list for the 2024-2025 school year. Mindy Schaefer, Peggy Cole, Bonnie Wingrove, and Mary Margaret Renzi, and I so move.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Abstain.
One abstention.
Request approval to accept the following resignations. Nicholas D'Amico, Director of Special Education and Student Services, with final date of employment to be February 3rd, 2025, per Act 14 of the PA Code, or unless released prior to February 3rd, 2025, as approved by the superintendent. And also Catherine Shepler, cafeteria, effective January 22nd, 2025, and I so move.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval to enter into a memorandum of understanding of the CACM SPA regarding the floater position pending final changes and approval by the district solicitor, and I so move.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval for Jennifer Tippett, teacher, to take a leave of absence effective January 2nd, 2025 for the remainder of the 2024-2025 school year, and I so move.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval for Lisa Smith, teacher, to take a leave of absence effective May 12th through June 2nd, 2025, and I so move.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval to accept the resignation of Lisa Smith effective June 2nd, 2025, and I so move.
Just a correction on that, Mr. Lindsay, that's retirement.
Retirement. What did I say?
Resignation.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I'm overworked.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval to accept the retirement of Charles Pearl, custodian, effective March 3rd, 2025, and I so move.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval to accept the retirement of Eleanor Hare, cafeteria, effective April 4th, 2025, and I so move.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval for a permanent contract with the following professional employees based upon completion of 3 years satisfactory service with the Collinsville Area School District, Nicholas Miller and Ashley Prince, and I so move.
Second.
A motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval of the following long-term substitute teacher for the remainder of the 2024-2025 school year, Jessica Summers, and I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
And request approval for Robert Malloy to take a leave of absence effective January 13th, 2025 until on or about January 21st, 2025, and I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Anything to add, Mr. Kokenar? Nothing. Mr. Evans?
Nothing, thank you.
That's all I have, Mr. Penzo. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Renzi. Moving to policy and legislative, Mr. Martre.
Thank you, Mr. Panzel. We only have one on this evening, second reading. Request approval for the second reading of the following policy 011, Principles of Governance and Leadership. I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Mr. Driscoll, you have anything to add?
No, thank
Mr.
you.
Horstman?
Nothing, thank
Mr.
you.
Evans? Nothing, thank you. That's all we have.
Thank you, Mr. Martre. Moving to safety and security, Mrs. Driscoll.
Okay, 20 full-time school police hire, request approval of Jason Deeger to be hired as a full-time school police officer, and I so move.
Second.
Motion and second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
That's all I have, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Mrs. Sampson,
Nothing, thank you.
Mr. Barlow. Okay, that's all we have.
Thank you, Mrs. Driscoll. Moving to special education, Mr. Harshman.
Thank you, Mr. Van Zelen. Request approval for the extended school year on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, June 23rd through July 24th, 2025. Prep day on June 23rd, 2025, 7:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. as follows. Students, 8 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Teachers, 7:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. Special education support professionals, 7:45 a.m. to 12:45 p.m. And I so move.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
That's all I have, Mr. Driscoll.
I have nothing, thank you.
Mr. Martre,
Nothing, thank you.
that's all we have, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Harshman. Moving to student services, Mrs. Driscoll.
Okay, request approval for the following travel. Spread these together, 1 through 17, and I so move.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Health and Tools, request approval for a 3-year agreement between the Cottonville Area School District and Health and Tools at a cost of $22,392. That's 3 payments of $7,464 made annually, paid through the Medical Services Software Supplies and Licenses account under Student Services for the 2025-26, 26-27, and 2027-28 school year. And I so move.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, 23C vape prevention program plan agreement. Request approval to enter into a vape prevention program plan agreement with the Fayette County Drug and Alcohol Commission from July 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2027 school year at no cost to the district, and I so move.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
23D piano restoration. Request the approval to enter into a service agreement with Steinway and Sons for the restoration of a piano at a cost of $68,914 as proposed, and I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No. Roll call.
Mr. Renzi?
Yes.
Mr. Kokenar?
No.
Mrs. Driscoll?
Yes.
Mrs. Langston?
No.
Mr. Harshman?
No.
Mr. Martre?
Yes.
Mr. Panzella?
No. Motion failed.
And 25-26 school calendar, request approval of the 25-26 school calendar as proposed. And I so move.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Affiliation agreement with Carlow University, request approval of the school district affiliation agreement between Carlow University and the Connellsville Area School District as proposed. And I so move.
Second.
A motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Student teacher assignment, request approval of the student teacher assignment with Carlow University for the spring semester of 2025. And I so move.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, and that's all I have. Mrs. Saxon?
Nothing, thank you.
Mr. Kokenar?
Comment, please. Just so that everybody knows on this piano that we're trying to restore here. That was built back in the 60s and was given to the school district. And it's a grand piano B, which is probably the top of the line pianos. It's in need of having everything done to it on the outside as well as on the inside. It's over 60 years old. And that cost we had there, $68,914, that included also bringing it, coming and picking it up and delivering it back to the school district. So it was a nice savings of $3,000 for the school district. And the cost of that piano when it's done would be well over $120,000 for the kids to use and get some use out of it. We use it on the stage for concerts and whatever else. But, you know, you're only talking over 50 years, and the gentleman I spoke to at Steinway and Sons told me that that would be good for 50 years, other than just tuning it and maybe just some basic maintenance on the thing. So you're only talking $1,378 a year to provide something for these kids and an experience that they'll remember the rest of their life. But that's all I have to say on that. And I was just hoping that would go through for the music department. Thank you.
Well, since you brought that, I checked into it. And Boston's made by Steinway. We could have bought a brand new Boston top of the line for less than half of what the restoration was for the kids to have a brand new piano. So just put that out there.
Mr. Panzella, what you don't understand, and I've talked to some well-known pianists about this type of piano that we're talking about right here. It's one of the best ever made. And we should try to preserve it as much as we can because it was given to the school district. I'm still trying to find out who donated this piano to them. I got a couple feelers out right now, and I'm getting some plays back on it. But we did have a gentleman he's well known throughout the world. He's a pianist and an organist. And he said, don't ever get rid of that piano. It's one of the best. And I just can't see not putting some money back into this to preserve it. I just really can't. And I don't understand the reasoning behind this with all the other money that's spent around this district. And we just let this go down because we only had, the gentleman even gave us 60 days on it to make a decision on it. He extended it. So that's all I have to say on it.
And that's all we have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Driscoll. Moving to technology, Mr. Detweiler, or I'm sorry, Mr. Martre.
Thank you, Benzo. Okay, request approval of the internet service agreement with Armstrong at a monthly cost of $1,496, compliant with E-rate regulations. Not so moved.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Okay.
removing that actually because that will be bid out. So that is something that administration will go ahead and prepare formal bids. So there's a formal bid selection process for these specific devices that the district.
Okay, so that'll be put out for bid. And that's all we have. Mr. Horstman, anything additional?
Nothing, thank you.
Mr. Ghost?
I have nothing, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Martre. Moving to transportation, Mr. Kokenauer.
Thank you, Mr. Panzella. E-Road GPS dash cams. Request approval to purchase 111 GPS dash cams from E-Road, Co-Stars numbers 0000562943 at a cost of $48,729 in accordance with the transportation contract. I so move.
Second.
Motion is second.
Question?
Question?
I just wanted to know where, and I may have missed this, where were our 111 GPS going to?
Let Mr. Evans answer.
That was part of the new transportation contract that was ratified a month or so ago. On the prior contract, we had gotten all of our buses up to speed. Each bus has 4 cameras and a GPS in it. And this was the next phase in our next contract. We will now be equipping every one of our school vans with a forward-facing, rear-facing camera and GPS system.
Any other questions? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Request approval of the following bus van drivers updates additions. I so move.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
That's all I have, Mr. Panzella. Mr. Renzi.
Nothing, Mr. President.
Mr. Evans.
Nothing, thank you.
That's all we have, Mr. Panzella. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kokenauer. Nothing really under President's report. Just want to say thank you to the Buildings and Grounds guys last night, the company that came in, got DT back up and running as fast as they did. That was amazing. Great turnaround. That probably saved us a lot of headaches for the building. I want to thank all those people. And that's all I have there. Under public comment for non-agenda items, we'll move into that. And first one we have is Mary Grace Utella on the compensation tax collector raise. Tax collector compensation raise.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is freezing in here, so I'm going to keep my coat on.
Mine 3 minutes.
According to the local tax collection laws, section 36.1, any action taken by a taxing district to change compensation of a tax collector must be passed or adopted prior to the 15th day of February of the year of the municipal election, which would be this year, February 15th, for the next term of office. I am here this evening on behalf of the elected tax collectors for the Connersville Area School District, with the exception of Jim Stevens, former tax collector for Connersville Township, who resigned as of January 1st, Tammy Nedrow, Dunbar Borough tax collector, whom I'm told will not be seeking re-election, Jennifer Helms, tax collector for South Connersville Borough and also the assistant business manager for the school district, and Charles Matthews, treasurer for the city of Connersville, which falls under Act 394 of 1945, relating to the compensation salary for third-class city treasurers. On December 26th, I emailed 6 letters from tax collectors, including myself, requesting an increase in compensation with the exception of Leslie Wiltrout, tax collector for Wilson Township. Leslie and Virginia Bowser, tax collector for Springfield Township, had already submitted their letters to the district prior to my email. I also mailed copies of all of our letters the same day I sent the email. In my email, I asked that the letters be read at your next scheduled board meeting so that I could be reached at my office if you had any questions or required further information. I never received correspondence from any of you board members. I was informed by your business manager, Cherie Ralston, that you had already voted and passed a resolution to keep the compensation the same with no increase. Tax collector compensation was on your December 4th voting meeting, held at 8 p.m. right after your organization meeting, which was held at 7 p.m. No one from the school district notified the tax collector that the compensation for the next term of office would be on your December 4th agenda and would be voted on accordingly. Your agenda meetings are usually held on the fourth Monday of the month, and your voting meetings on Wednesday of the same week. We are very disappointed that the district did not grant us the courtesy to let us know that our compensation for the next 4 years would be voted on and decided at that meeting. Not giving the tax collector an increase for the 26 to 29 term of office will equal a total of 12 years without a cost of living increase. Let the record show that in 2017, the Connersville Area School Board voted to cut the compensation of the elected tax collector up to 55%. Therefore, on behalf of those collectors, including myself, who submitted their letters to you in good faith, we are asking for reconsideration in granting an increase.
3 minutes.
At this time, I would like to submit to the board again our letters requesting an increase in compensation to be entered into the minutes of this meeting as well as my comments.
Next, we have Sonny Bentley, District Transparency.
Thank you for allowing me to speak. Most of you know me, but my name is Sonny Bentley, and in the past I have spoken at previous meetings as a taxpayer and an employee of this district. I have since resigned from my employment of almost 15 years due to the lack of transparency from the administrators of our district to the staff, but more importantly, how the lack of transparency from administration decisions can impact the taxpayers. On September 26th, I spoke out about the administrators cutting the support staff hours that was costing them $1,700 a year. They are already the lowest paid in the district. This decision went into effect 1 week after the board approved the new contract, and the directors were completely ignorant to this fact. The administrators provided no reasoning nor justification for the wages that the support staff would lose, who all had already are the lowest paid employees of the district and would be losing even more. The next day, the Daily Courier printed an article on the front page quoting myself and another person. By the end of that day, the hours were reinstated, again with no explanation to the staff. Furthermore, the support personnel was never compensated for their lost hours, and the union did nothing about it. On October 14th, 15 days after that event, I was written up for, and I will quote this, for disclosing unnecessary information to the public that was obtained through my employment with the district. I disagree. This information is necessary for all taxpayers to be aware of. I am paid, I was paid, and as well as all the others, we are paid on that tax dollar. The taxpayers have a right to know how that money is being spent. However, the other person who also spoke out that day was not reprimanded. Additionally, when grievance is filed, the grievance has 10 days from the incident to file. Yet the district waited 3 weeks to reprimand me. As an employee, as I mentioned, we're all paid from the money that was collected by the taxpayers. We as taxpayers are entitled to know exactly how every penny is being spent and the justifications behind it. It is absolutely necessary for taxpayers to be made more aware of these changes because it is a matter of public record. The administration needs to be held to higher expectations to the delegation and deliverance of their authority with the staff and the public. And you directors, owe the people who voted you to research and make independent, informed, and educated decisions. The question why should be on your lips. For every time an administrator gives a recommendation on any and all decisions coming before you. These administrators answer to this board, not the other way around. With that being said, and in closing, the directors of this board should not be taking recommendations from family members who are administrators in this district and in positions of decision-making that ultimately affects the personnel of this
You're
district.
3 minutes.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you. That's all we have for non-agenda items. Assistant to the superintendent.
I'd just like to let everyone know that we are currently finalizing our kindergarten registration information, and it will be sent out soon. So if you have a child who needs registered for kindergarten for next year, please be on the lookout. Our kindergarten registration will take place the week of March 3rd. So please look out for information. It'll be coming out very soon. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Evans.
Thank you. I'd like to take a moment to bring attention to January being School Board Appreciation Month. These dedicated individuals volunteer countless hours each year making thoughtful and sometimes difficult decisions for the benefit of our students, staff, and the entire community. Our school board members regularly go above and beyond, often behind the scenes, to ensure that our schools run smoothly and that we are constantly improving. Their collective efforts provide the foundation for our schools to continue to thrive for our students and staff to achieve excellence. Please join me in thanking our school board for all that they do. Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Evans. Motion to adjourn.